Grand Rising, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this reading and this channeled message for the Taurus New Moon, which is on April 26th or 27th, depending on where you live on this beautiful planet. I'm going to start this reading by just taking a deep breath in and exhaling out to get myself aligned with the messages that are present for us in this reading. I'm going to start by talking about and channeling some messages from some cards I've already got pulled out on the table, and then I'm going to go into two other tarot decks to see what other details and messages we can gain from this lunation on the 26th in Taurus. And we start here with this message of knowing your worth. And knowing your worth is so incredibly important. Know that in this moment you were watching this reading, that you are so infinitely, incredibly worthy of everything you desire. And know that everything that you've experienced in your life, whether it was done to you, which is never to, it's always for, but know that whatever you experienced in your past, whatever you're processing in your present, and whatever you're dreaming for in your future, you're worthy. And no amount of past experiences, hurt or harm or damage done to you or by you changes how incredibly worthy you truly are of all of your abundance and love and bliss and health and joy. You were born worthy. You were born ready. Abundance is your birthright, and abundance of your birthright, then you were born worthy just by being born on this planet. And that is an incredible feeling of, yes, as I am now, who I am now, it doesn't change the worthiness, because that is something you set for yourself. And knowing your worth is so incredibly important, because we also have this Taurus New Moon card of prosperity lying ahead. So if you set your own worth and know it as high and as divine and as righteous and as aligned as it is meant to be for you, which is quite high, righteous, divine, and aligned, if I might say so, then look at the amount of prosperity that lies ahead. You set the scale. You set the bar. So believe in yourself. Believe you are worthy. Believe you are worthy of more than what your physical reality might be showing you are worthy of. Believe that there is so much more worth and value to you, your life, your experience, your dreams and wishes than might be present. And when we can tap into that divine level of worthiness, then that divine level of prosperity is what lies ahead. And I also have two other cards here. We have this beautiful astrology card of Taurus, and you're wondering, how do I tap in to know my worth to reach the prosperity that lies ahead? And this Taurus card says, you cultivate it. Cultivate that worth. It starts with the seed, right? And that's what this new moon is. New moons are the seed of intention. You plant them in the dark of the new moon, right? The dark of the new moon, you plant the seed, and then over the course, it grows. But it starts at cultivating it, and you can start the cultivation with perception. I have this other beautiful astrology card here, tapping into that perceptive cultivation of your self-worth that will then build the prosperity that lies ahead. I'm hearing it starts with us. It starts with us tuning in to the perception, and even the moon on this card is a new moon. Even the moon on the Taurus card is a new moon. And this isn't even a specific new moon Taurus card. This is just about Taurus energy itself. And Taurus is connected to the planet of Venus, which is all about worth and beauty and love and abundance and prosperity and healing and art and culture. And these are all things we perceive emotionally, and the moon is connected to our emotions, connected to the tide of our energies that flow in and out. So this is the perfect time to tap into the perception and cultivation of this amazing energy that is surrounding us, to cultivate the prosperity that lies ahead with knowing our worth. This is where it begins with this new moon in Taurus. So know you are worthy. Know that no matter of past experiences that has happened to you or for you, that is another shift we can make right here. I'm hearing from Source. Nothing that has ever happened in your past was to you. Because by something happening to you, you lower your worth. Because you put yourself in that victim mentality. And you can start to question, did I deserve that? And the question is, no. And it also does not change how worthy you are, because it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. To open you up to this level of cultivation. To tap you into a deeper, more true level of worth of self and life and being. So you can rise above and receive what is truly yours that lies ahead. Prosperity doesn't just tune into the energies of physical wealth or money or abundance. It's also the prosperity of health, the prosperity of love, the prosperity of healing, the prosperity of hope. All lies ahead for you. And this is the time to tap into that, to plant that seed in the new moon so that it can grow and be cultivated in the highest and best way possible, so you too can have these flowers of abundance and prosperity and hope and beauty and bliss and peace and healing surrounding you now. Start the cultivation process now, I'm hearing. All right, I'm going to go into this animal messages tarot deck to see how the messages from the animal kingdom, which is very connected to Taurus, I feel funny. I feel like an ancestor or a relative of the Taurus energy just came forward for us, just like flew forward, which is Buffalo Spirit. And Buffalo Spirit, Eight of Crystals is the Eight of Pentacles traditionally, and the Eight of Pentacles is all about harnessing, honing in, knowing the worth of your craft, your practice, your passions, your hobbies, your dreams, and diligently working towards them. On the bottom of this Eight of Crystals, it says dedication and progress. What's another word for dedication and progress? Cultivation. It's time to cultivate these dreams, these messages, these ambitions for ourselves with this new moon so that we can really move forward on sure footing with them. Let's get one more. Sorry, my lighting is a little dark at the moment. Dark like the darkness of the new moon that hangs in the sky without any light, potentially. I also have a new light right now that I'm using, and I'm still getting used to it, so apologies if this video is a little bit more moody, but I'm just gonna move forward with the progress of it. Ooh, let's go with you. Oh, we have two cards here. Ooh, speaking of darkness. Oh, and I'm back. We have the shadow coming through with self-empowerment and ambition. So sometimes as we cultivate our own worth and we're tapping into that level of self-worth, self-love, how much we truly are worthy, again, shadows of the past can arise that make us question how much we truly are worthy of these things, how much we truly will receive them in the future. But this anytime you're faced with the shadow of darkness that tests what you're trying to cultivate, it is not a message to back down. It is a message to power through. And Jekyll here, with the shadow card, is letting us know that it is time to empower ourselves with our ambitions so that we can come through, right? Self-empowerment with progress, self-empowerment with dedication, and not letting the shadows of our past or the shadows of what we're still healing and integrating affect what we are trying to cultivate for ourselves in this new moon. We also have the 9 of Acorns coming forward with Black Panther, and Black Panther is always very watchful. Another Black Panther card is coming forward, which is actually in that deck that I'm thinking of, the Success card, the energy of success, but it is a panther lying in wait. And this 9 of Acorns says power and perseverance. So we have power and perseverance, we have dedication and progress, and then we have self-empowerment and ambition. Those are the 6 positive energies coming through for us right now to help us power through with perseverance and dedication and ambition towards the progress that we want to make, towards what we're trying to cultivate that we might be perceiving for ourselves but has not yet manifested fully. And when we're trying to cultivate things that we can perceive on an energetic, intuitive, and spiritual level for ourselves, but we're not yet seeing those seeds sprout, it does make us question our worth sometimes, which is why we have the shadow card here, because the shadow is all about those questions, but it's not questions that are meant to be swept under a rug. Again, they're meant to be answered from the perception of knowing your worth. And when you know your worth, answering questions of worth isn't difficult, because you know. So it doesn't shake your foundation. It builds it up even more. And again, new moons are all about those foundations, those seeds being planted in the soil to grow so that prosperity can lie ahead for you. I'm also hearing this, I believe it's actually like a biblical scripture or story coming through quickly of when you sow seeds as in this energy we're putting forth with this Taurus new moon on the 26th, 27th of April, which is if you don't cast your seeds or sow your seeds with intention and you're just kind of fling them out to the world, your seeds could land anywhere. They could land in the sidewalk and not even have a chance to take root. They could land in the water and get drowned and waterlogged. They could land in brambles and maybe take root but not have room to grow. But if you plant your seeds with intention, knowing where to plant them, knowing how to plant them, knowing the energy in which you are planting them into, then that is when prosperity lies ahead. And that's why we have the 8 of Crystals coming through with progress and dedication, because that level of cultivation does take dedication and ambition, and does take working through your own shadow work and being self-empowered and persevering through it. Let's see what other messages come forward in my other tarot deck I have right here. I'm hearing, what do you want to cultivate? What do you want to see take bloom in your life? I'm hearing you could check out your own astrological chart, see where Taurus is on it for you. Just look for that little icon up there, and it will tell you maybe in a high way what is in your highest good to plant this new moon, what intention is best to set this new moon in Taurus. Look at that, we have some cards coming forward. Do you see this? I was shuffling, and these two cards flip themselves up and put them back in the deck. So they volunteered. Okay. Oh, and they're both major arcana cards, and they're both super powerful. So buckle up, because this new moon is coming in strong, and we'll even potentially be feeling this new 3 days before it happens on the 26th. So April 23rd, April 24th, you might start feeling these energies of this knowing your worth and planting the seeds of prosperity and health and wealth and abundance and love and bliss for yourself before we even get there, and even a little bit afterwards as well, like potentially up until the 28th, I'm hearing. But we have here the moon itself coming through in this reading. And the moon in tarot is all about trusting what you know. Trusting what you know. I always give this example in my classes, because I also teach tarot, of the moon is when you're out for a late night walk in your own neighborhood, and it's pitch black out, it's 3 a.m, there's no lights, and you're on your way back from this late night walk, and you can't see where you're going in your neighborhood because that's how dark it is, but you know where you live in your neighborhood, and so you trust that knowing within to guide you back home. Even when you're feeling like you're deep under the waters of emotion or energy or your experiences or what you're trying to process, maybe there's some shadow work and healing in this soup I'm hearing, but even then, you still have that divine connection coming through for you. It's like a sci-fi space, like tractor beam. It pulls you up and out of the thick of it and back into the open air. And you can always trust what you know and know that that is true, just like your worth. And to trust that perception of what you know to be true within when things on your outside don't seem to be the perception, right, of them seems to be different than what you're experiencing. Another message that comes along with the moon is that things appear different under the light of the moon than they do under the light of the sun. Things can feel illusionary, things can feel elusive, things can feel shadowy under the light of the moon as opposed to the light of the sun. So in these energies that feel intense, potentially overwhelming, very strong, very emotional, very present, trust what you know. And when we trust what we know and use that as the tether to pull us out of these energies that are intense or strong or emotional or however they have been for you, then true death and rebirth happens for us on a full level. This is traditionally the death card in tarot, but in this deck it is death and rebirth. It is the ending with death and the new beginning with rebirth. And these situations, these experiences can feel very much like staring at the face of death. But you can see when we truly face these energies head on with our worth intact, we see that these transformations, these transitions, these endings, these beginnings, these cycles that are happening for us right now, they lead to prosperity and purpose. You end up facing your North Star, you end up facing where you're meant to go, you end up seeing yourself, perceiving your situation more clearly, understanding it more fully, knowing yourself and your value more clearly. From facing these death and rebirth situations head on, as opposed to trying to skirt around them. I'm hearing this new moon is not the time to skirt around anything. This new moon is the time to look at yourself and to tap into your definitive worth in a high way, so that you can truly plant those seeds and receive the prosperity that lies ahead. Alrighty then, here we go. I was like, where did my deck go? It is literally beside me. Let's see what other messages come through. Guidance and clarity for this new moon. Okay. Ooh. Major Arcana cards for everybody right now. Major Arcana, again, are the milestones in our life. They are milestones of achievement, of energy shifting, of chapters ending, of chapters beginning. And so far we've had the Shadow, which is traditionally the devil in tarot. We've also had the Moon, death, and now we have the Chariot. And look at that. It's interesting because we have these two here. You see how there's the white dog and the black wolf, and then there's the black horse and the white horse. On the Moon card, the two dogs, they are the combination, the balancing, the coming together almost of the feral wild sides of ourself and the domestic calm sides of ourself. It is truly a domestic dog and a wild wolf howling at the same moon and energies together. And now we have the charioteer from the Chariot with his two horses, and they are also together, aligned, moving forward into, caught that in my legs, into rebirth from death with this lunation, with this new moon in Taurus on the 26th of April. We have Taurus, we have the Chariot, which is connected to racing forward on your path towards a victory, success, and achievement. I always say this with the Chariot because it's not just racing forward off a cliff or into a swamp or into a deep pool. It is racing forward towards a victory, success, and achievement. It is ingrained within the message of the card. You are racing forward. You are on the path forward towards a victory, success, and achievement. And the beautiful thing about the Chariot is that there's no physical force, there's no manipulation, there's no control of the external variety in this card. The Charioteer has no reins on these horses. He is just using his willpower, his energy, his intention, his perception, and his knowing of his worth and that strength of energy he has to align these energies that might feel like they're opposing forces or parties or views or perceptions. And with that strength of character, strength of will, that intention, that purity of his energy, he is able to align the horses and get to where he wants to go faster. Because he is aligned with that energy. Because he knows his worth as the Charioteer. Because he knows that prosperity lies ahead. And because he knows that prosperity lies ahead, he is able to race forward. Ooh, we also have, interesting, we had one other card came forward with the Chariot, and we had Buffalo Spirit here to begin with progress and dedication. And now look at, we have the Ten of Wands coming through with another buffalo oxen on it in connection to Taurus, which is the bull. And I just want to say this because I say this with every Taurus reading, I think, but I think it warrants the repeat, which is, it is literally a myth that bulls in china shops destroy things. So if you feel like you are racing full speed ahead with intention and pure energy towards your dreams and your wishes, and you're like, oh gosh, am I going too fast? Is everything gonna start falling on me? Am I gonna start bumping into anything and destroying things as I go? No, you're not. Because it was literally a myth tested by the Mythbusters. I might be aging myself with that reference, but it was literally a myth tested by the Mythbusters that bulls can maneuver perfectly through china shops without destroying anything. They can maneuver perfectly through tight corners, tight alleyways, hairpins, wide valleys, with everything remaining intact and as it needs to be. So if you feel like you're someone who, as you speed up, things kind of get messy, it's all good. Nothing's being destroyed. I'm hearing things might be moving out of your way, but if they're moving out of your way, then they're meant to move out of your way, so it's still all good. But we have this Ten of Wands here, and this just lets us know even more that we are so close to the finish line. We are so close to that prosperity that lies ahead, because the Ten of Wands is all about being almost at that finish line, being at the prosperity that almost lies ahead for us. Because the Ten of Wands is this energy of she's come around the mountain as she comes. So you've come from the other side of this mountain, and you can see you've already walked this entire path here, and now she's at the bottom. But look at how much luggage, how much burden, how much responsibilities, potentially even passions and ambitions, how many perceptions that she's picked up and gained and acquired throughout this journey. And the Ten of Wands is here to tell you that if you're feeling as over encumbered as this woman does in this card, it's time to put it down. It's time to put some of this stuff down, because not all of what you're carrying is necessary for this last leg of this journey or for what's coming next. And I say to my own clients when you have a private reading with me, and I will share it with you guys in this video, that if you have an ego or a mind with the shadow card here that doesn't like putting things down, you can kind of trick your ego and your mind into putting some of these unnecessary things down by being like, we're just going to put this down for now. Just for now. Just for now, we're just going to put this down. And we'll come back to it, okay, ego? We'll come back after we reach our goal and are able to put this other stuff down, and then once we do, we'll come back for what we put down ahead of time. And then if you can tell yourself and your mind and your perception that you're gonna come back and you're just putting it down for now, then what happens is your mind is like, oh, okay, that actually sounds like that's self-empowerment for just putting it down for now. And then you can carry on, not feel overtired, not feel overexerted, not feel like you can't make those final steps because what was weighing you down has been put down. And potentially by the time you do reach that beautiful prosperity that lies ahead, then you get to the finish line and you're like, oh, what did I put down? Or you get to the finish line and you're like, oh, I don't actually need to go back for that. It's fine. I'm completely fine without it. I am better off without it. And that is the message of the Ten of Wands, is that You might have picked up too much on this journey, on this last leg, before you reach your prosperity. And now it's time to put some of that down for yourself. So this last leg with this Taurus New Moon can be easy, can be restful, can be fulfilling, can be a worthy last leg of the journey for you. That is the true message. I'm hearing, what do you need to put down? What do you need to cultivate so that this new moon in Taurus can feel connected, can feel aligned, can feel prosperous, can feel healing, can feel loving, can feel like a piece of art? Because when we can tap into that and cultivate that energy, then that is the seed that will take root in the fertile soil and grow. That, my friends, is the message for this Taurus new moon on April 26th, 27th. Thank you so much for listening to my channeled message. I hope this gave you inspiration. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this reading. Share it around if you think that this message will give inspiration and hope and clarity to anyone you know. I would deeply and greatly appreciate it. I deeply and greatly appreciate you for spending this time with me. And I will see you all in my next reading. Namaste.